Hello lovers, welcome back to another For the Marriage video. I am Nicole Hanson, a marriage and wife coach, just out here trying to help bring the divorce rate down. If you're a new lover to this channel here, one, welcome. Two, make sure you find that subscribe button and click it. Come and join our family. And three, thank you so much for watching this video. For my old lovers, thank you so much for coming back. It's always a pleasure to have you. You know, over here, we talk about all things marriage, helping reignite and reconnect you in your marriage by giving advice and helping you through those challenging and stressful times, or giving you ideas to help you spice up your marriage. And today's video is not going to be anything short of that, so let's go ahead and get into it. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of this topic, I wanted to give you all a backstory on where I pulled this from. I think it's very important for you all to know. Sometimes I'm just like thinking in my head like all these topics, and I'm like, I want to do a video on this, I want to do a video on that. And other times I get the pleasure to talk to people and they give me or the conversation gives me some type of like inspiration to do, and that is where this video was pulled from, right? So I had the pleasure to talk to someone about their marriage, and I always say it's a pleasure because I know that marriage is very vulnerable, especially when things are not going in the best direction in your marriage and you are kind of hesitant and not knowing, where your marriage really stands. So to open up and share that, it could be very tough. So like I said, it was a pleasure to talk to this person about their marriage, and also too for them to feel safe to talk to me about it, right? I really just want to help people and people's marriages. So when I get the opportunity to do that, I really take it serious. So like I said, I had the pleasure to talk to someone about their marriage, and it was just a casual conversation at first, and it was just like, oh, how's your spouse? How are things going? Things are going good. And I'm like, oh, really? So like, what are y'all enjoying about marriage? And from that question, the conversation changed, and it was more like, well, we are struggling in our marriage. Like, I don't even know if I believe in our marriage anymore. And when I hear things like that, it really hurts my heart, because it's just like, man, like, am I going to be able to help this person? Because if both spouses have already disconnected, it's really hard to, pull them back together. And if it's one spouse that still has hope, it's an uphill battle if the other person doesn't, right? So we talked for a little bit, and we kind of got through some of the, the riffraff of the marriage. And it does seem like they're both willing to work on their marriage, which kind of gives me a sign of relief. But it's still going to be that uphill battle. And the one thing that the person said was, I don't know if I believe in this marriage. And I'm like, if you feel that way, there's so many other people that feel the exact same way about their marriage. So I wanted to come and do a video really just to talk to you all about not believing in your marriage and how you can start to believe in your marriage again. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our top 3 things of why people stop believing in their marriage. So the first reason why people may stop believing in their marriage is because their marriage is going through a stressful time. And it's very hard to see that this marriage is going to work when you are in the thick of an issue, whether brought on by the universe or your spouse. It is very hard to understand that, like, this is where I need to be. This marriage is where I need to be. So that is going to be number 1. Marriages, spouses, they start to have disbelief or not believe in their marriage when it's a stressful time, when there's challenges, when there's struggle after struggle, when arguments are high, communication is low, intimacy is low. So that is going to be number 1, the number 1 reason why people start to have disbelief in their marriage. Number 2 is going to be the disconnect. And this is probably happening more than we know when spouses are not connected. And it kind of stems from life. When you're on the go, you're both going to work, or one person's going to work and the other one stay at home, or the kids, there's a lot of things going on with the kids. They may have events, they may be in sports. You may have to be over here. They may have to be over there. Work life, whatever the case may be, when you're just missing each other. And at the end of the night, you're laying your head down and it's just like, all right, let's roll over, go to sleep. And then the next day you do it again, right? And there's no routine. Your routine doesn't incorporate your marriage. So that is going to be the second reason why spouses start to not believe in their marriage, because the routine is not fixed for them to be married. It's more just like, all right, we're doing this, we're a partnership. Like, you go here and do this, I'll go here and do this, and you're missing each other. So you're not connected. That's going to be the second reason. The third reason is something that we've all heard before, things that you shouldn't use, things that you shouldn't say. But when number one is happening, those arguments, those stressful times, it's probably a word that comes up more than not, and that is divorce and separation. When your arguments get to the point of you saying, we're going to just get a divorce, or let's separate, we don't need to be together, when you're using those kind of words, then it makes your spouse, and it makes you have a lower belief in your marriage. Like, you're not believing in your marriage because that word is to separate anyways, right? To divorce is to go our separate ways. This marriage is not working. We don't need to be together. So those are going to be the top three reasons why spouses stop believing in their marriage. Now, there may be a lot of other reasons why people stop believing in their marriage, and we can talk about those in the comments below. If you feel like you have a top three reasons why people stop believing in their marriage, you could definitely help one of our fellow subscribers or someone who's just passing by to watch the video, and maybe they are experiencing the same thing. So don't hesitate to ever leave comments in the comment box, and let's have conversation down there as well too. I would love to see more interaction in the comments. But those are just the top three. It's going to be a stressful stage of marriage. It's going to be that disconnect and using words like divorce and separation. Let's get into ways that you can start bringing belief back into your marriage, or start believing in your marriage. So the first reason how you can start believing in your marriage, again, is understanding that there's going to be stressful times with or without your spouse. Before you met your spouse, you probably had stressful and challenging situations. While you're with your spouse, you're going to have stressful and challenging situations, right? And it's very important to know that just because you're having these hard times doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is going to end. Yes, divorce is an option, but it doesn't have to be the option. So have an understanding, like, yes, we're going through this challenging time. Come together, and guess what? We're going to make it through this time, and we're going to still be married. The second way that you can start bringing belief back into your marriage, which some of you may agree that this should be number one, and I too agree too, but I'm just kind of going off of why people stop believing and matching it with how you can start believing again. So number two is going to be prioritizing your marriage. You have to prioritize your marriage. If you and your spouse is disconnected, it's because you all did not prioritize your marriage. There is nothing more important than your marriage. So if you're going to work, yes, we need money to survive. But at the end of the day, if your spouse and you really loves each other, you're going to stick it out whether you have that job or not. Your kids, they're going to get older and they're going to want to leave you. Heck, I have 2 3-year-olds right now, and they don't want nothing to do with me. They are so independent. They have their own life. And mommy, do not mess with my Lightning McQueen or my Spidey, because this is mine and you stay far away. So if we prioritize our marriage, there should not be any disconnect, right? Yes, you may not see eye to eye all the time, but it should not be any disconnect. There should not be moments where you're missing each other, because that is when things really get hard, is when you are disconnected from your spouse. So prioritize your marriage. Go on date nights, show affection, give compliments, like slap the booties, whatever you have to do to make sure that your marriage is a priority. It's very, very, very important. And I know some people have religion and their religion is their main priority, but if that's the case, your marriage should be right underneath there. That should be your priority. Nothing else should be above your marriage outside of your religion, right? Your marriage has to be a priority. And let's just say, every time you make your marriage a priority, that adds a year to your marriage. Make your marriage a priority. Both spouses have to come together and make the marriage a priority. It's so important. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on, because I know that if you want to have a conversation in the comments, we can. But this is the way that I look at it. My way is not always the right way, but this is how I look at it. My husband is my priority, and I am my husband's priority. Together, our kids are our priority. So we go on date nights. We do things that don't involve our children because we need to be here. So when them little things grow older and they don't want nothing to do with us, we are still here, okay? It's very, very important. And I know some people don't see it that way, where their children are their priority and then their spouse. So be it. I think that you really should reevaluate it. I'm not saying that you're wrong, just reevaluate it and put your marriage a priority, because it's so important. Okay, so that's gonna be number 2. Prioritize your marriage. Make your marriage a priority. And then number 3, speak life into your marriage, right? Don't be talking about divorce. Don't be talking about separation. I know it's going to be hard, because when we're arguing, we don't want anything to do with our spouse. They're like the worst person in the world. But no, speak life into your marriage. Speak longevity into your marriage. We're going to be married forever. Reminisce and look into the future, right? Make sure that you are speaking life into your marriage. Like, this is what I want. Like, you're what I need. Like, you're the best person in my life. Like, uplifting your marriage. Like, this marriage, like, yes, we're going through our hard times. You see it all the times on cards and stuff like that, holiday cards and things like that. Like, through the ups and the downs, like, we've made it through the test of times, and I love you, and I don't want anybody else but you. Speak life into your marriage, right? Positivity, longevity. Speak those things into your marriage so that you can have belief in your marriage, especially if you still have hope and faith and you still want to be married to your spouse and they still want to be married to you. This stage that you're in, this moment that you're in, this struggling time that you're in, it will pass, but you have to speak life into your marriage. So those are the top 6 things, 3 things on why people stop believing in their marriage, and 3 things on how you can start believing again in your marriage. It's very important, and hopefully this video helps someone out there. If you like the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you feel somebody needs this video or need to hear this video, please don't hesitate to share. Let's have a conversation in the conversation or the comments box. 2 conversations we can have down there, okay? We could talk about a lot in there. One is going to be, what are other reasons why people stop believing in their marriage? And then number 2, is it okay to prioritize your marriage above your children? And let's have these conversations in the comments box. And until next time, lovers, if you have any questions, if you are looking for a coach, please don't hesitate to look in the description box, because I have all my information down there on how you can reach out to me. I look forward to talking to you all in next week's video. Until next time, bye-bye.